Hey everyone, Morgan Zaretsky here of Naturessence Personal Wellness Coaching, where you can go to learn these 6 nature steps that I use to get off antidepressants and learn to love my life. And today I found this really cool article from the New York Times Magazine that I just finished reading. I thought it was fascinating. It's called The Anti-Helicopter Parents' Plea, Let Kids Play. And a Silicon Valley dad decided to test his theories about parenting by turning his yard into a playground where children can take physical risks without supervision. Not all his neighbors were thrilled. So, and the reason I thought this article was really interesting is that it's this story of this father's basically fight to have the right to give his children the same sort of childhood that he had growing up, riding bikes down the street and playing ball with your friends and just having all this freedom to build forts and feeling like you could, like all the houses on your street were this safe zone and you could do whatever you wanted. And it took him and his wife, now that they have children of their own, it took them 2 years to find a neighborhood where they thought they could give their children that same kind of childhood. And this guy traveled all over, I think, the US. I don't know. They live in California now, so I assume he went all over the US. It talks about they went to the Bronx, they went, I don't know, everywhere, to try and find a neighborhood where they thought that they could give their children this kind of independence. And just how hard it was is crazy. And I hope when I'm a parent that I can be a parent like this guy and specifically go out and find, cultivate a childhood for my children where they can be allowed to go outside, allowed to go play and ride their bike and make up their own games and not be helicopter parented to do all these structured activities all the time. He's actually published a book called Playborhood, which is the phrase he coined about for the environment that he wants to be able to raise his children in. So I thought that was a cool word, Playborhood, which is actually what he kind of phrased his backyard. And so in order to make this childhood for his kids, he built this huge playhouse in their backyard with a trampoline, and he's made it very aware to all his neighbors that their kids are welcome there even when they're not home. It doesn't matter. So, and it's kind of this back and forth of parents being aren't you worried about getting sued if somebody hurts themselves? And he's just what are the chances? What's the probability that someone's actually going to get seriously hurt? Getting a bump on the head is a normal part of childhood, which, right? That's the way it used to be. So I realize that this guy probably goes farther than most people would, but I still really like his ideas of, wanting to be able to trust his children to make their own decisions on risk and stuff. And I just want to scroll down. There was one quote at the bottom that I actually wanted to read. And it was kind of about how, because they live in Silicon Valley and in California, and they're actually having suicides in high schools because children are so helicopter parented that they don't feel like they're in charge of their own lives anymore. And what's the value of a life that you don't control? It's not your own. Sorry, where did it go? Just had it here, now I can't. Oh, here we go. Okay. Research suggests that students with controlling helicopter parents are less flexible, more vulnerable, anxious, and self-conscious, as well as more likely to be medicated for anxiety and depression. Similarly, children whose time is highly structured, so crammed with lessons and adult supervised activities, may have more difficulty developing their own executive functioning capabilities, the ability to devise their own plans and carry them out. Conversely, the more time children spend in free play, the better they develop these capabilities. So, okay, I'll put the link to this thing on Facebook and my website. Again, it's from the what did I say? The New York Times. So if you like it, go and read it. I thought it was really cool. Till next time. Bye, guys.